Hello, welcome back to my channel, I suppose, if you are someone who's watched more than one of my videos so far. This video, I've been playing a lot of the Scion custom races mod. It's a modern StarCraft. It's it's very well made, and it's currently the highest rated mod on the North American server. And well, considering that there aren't really pro players playing this, and it's not very regularly or publicly used, I've decided I'll make perhaps even the first video for a build for one of the races in this, to help new players, I suppose, get into the Keiron race, which is what I'm going to be playing today. Now, this build is definitely not refined. It is not exact at all. I have not written this down on a piece of paper. It is not the most quality build order ever. It is more of a feel and an aim and a goal that I think I'll, if I remember, I'll explain while I go through and try and do my best at doing this build. Now, it's more of an idea, so I'm going to be just doing it against a very easy AI. It's not to beat anyone. It's just a showcase for a build, an idea. If you want to refine it, then go ahead. This build is not copyrighted. But yeah, I've used it a couple times in some of my games. It's proved quite successful. I think it's quite strong. There's a few builds I do have in mind. I think this time though I'm going to be doing a timing with 2 Meridians. If you don't know what those are, those look kind of like Reavers from StarCraft 1. However, instead of shooting scarabs, they're kind of like also a carrier, and they're little interceptor dudes, only shoot grounds. They're ground units, and they do a lot of damage against light, and splash damage as well. So first I'm going to set up my hotkeys. The Keiron, because their first building is so expensive, you actually just let your first worker just go straight there, then it's your second worker that you're going to be wanting to send down to the low ground. It doesn't have to be towards the low ground, it can be in your main. Usually depends on the race you're playing against Zerg, because Zerg is probably my builder down.
Not enough minerals.
So.
Not enough minerals.
Yep. Now, for the Keiron, they don't really need too much gas for a while, not until you get any one of these advanced structures, or, obviously if you want to charge a citadel. But they don't really need gas, at least not for economy purposes. So I'm not going to be taking a gas like Terran and Zerg and Protoss often does at this stage. It's more similar to the 17 Nexus build that Parting made, if you know that. So you kind of send it here, send it down here at 18, and then build your citadel.
Additional
this is the general starter kind of build that I've made up. Now this guy, he stays here. You continue producing workers. You don't need to make anything out of the edifice yet. You're just saving up for a sanctum. It's kind of like a cybernetics core, if you will.
Not enough minerals.
Then you should just barely have enough money again to start another what's called converters. And then once you have the money, you make a gas here, continue making workers, and you rally your 20th worker to this gas to then build a second gas there. You then begin rallying your workers into the gas geysers. When this converter is done, you can go and mine at the natural base because they'll finish up at a relatively the same time. So now around this stage, probably should have been a bit sooner to be honest. You can make 1 or 2 pariahs, and I like to send those out to scout. If you did a worker scout instead, you could perhaps skip these. Then if you did that, things like the sanctum and some of the workers would be slightly later. I do like the pariah scouts because they're quite mobile. So they're pretty good at that. So now, because this is a build revolving around the atrium, I'm going to start up a foundry right now, and then third gas. This is not, but at this point I'm mostly kind of playing it like not like
Time to show your opponent who is boss here.
this is not refined with this part. It's mostly just the opener that I've refined. I'm mostly kind of playing off my gut, if you will. So when this foundry is
For the
done,
glory
I'm
of
going to make
Protoss,
our
no
first
mercy to the enemy.
atrium. Now this is for the Meridian. Meridians are very strong against a lot of small ground early game units. If you wanted to, if you ever needed to, you could warp in some defensive vaults or subjugators or any of these really. Now, when you have the gas,
I can't build here.
then you make a second atrium. You generally need 2 atriums, no more, no less. I'm going to start up a second edifice as well.
Not enough minerals. Not enough
This is
minerals.
for mostly just to get some kind of buffer for the Meridians. The Meridians are actually pretty good just by themselves, but perhaps against any small potential air units that they might have as Meridians, they can't shoot them whatsoever. Well, yeah. The Elytra. It's technically the Elytra. They can't shoot them. I'm going to go ahead and start up speed upgrade because I think I can afford that. I'm going to charge both of my citadels. So charging the citadel gives you access to the energize ability. Now, energize, it's very good defensively. It's absolutely necessary in Keiron versus Keiron because often, like, if you and your opponent are playing the exact same thing, then then the only way that you'll be able to defend really is with that. Now, because we're starting to build up a little bit of money, we can go take our third base around now. Obviously, this build does delay our third. When the charges for these finish, you want to begin warping in some myriads. You can perhaps even start up a reliquary for upgrades, and then also a what do you call it? An Elysium. So then you can get exalted shields or latent charge. But once you have 2 meridians, you want to begin moving out. Keep shaping in meridians while you're at home.
Additional
You
supply
could potentially
depots
get
required.
Umbra if you want to harass.
Additional supply depots
To
required.
really, you know, they're good at fighting units as
The
well.
search is
If
ready.
you're worried about
Time to
armored
show our
targets, they can be
strength.
good against armored targets as well. But in this game, I'm mostly just doing this. Might start up an upgrade here, Elysium, so then we can get modified gate or no exalted shields. Modified gate, and yeah, you can really attack. These things are very strong. The Elytra currently they do 22 damage versus light. There's 3 of them, and yeah, this isn't even. They don't do very well against static defense. It takes them quite a long time to clear static defense. So if you're looking to defend this, I recommend trying to transition a little bit, at least get a couple air units, and definitely just a few static defense at least, to really delay this, so then you can get some more and more units out. So you can deal with these vaults, and subjugators, which will be protecting the myriads. And perhaps more dragons as well. As when you play this build, I also recommend getting subjugators rather than pulsars. Pulsars are relatively kind of like adepts. Like, at least to me, they kind of feel like adepts because they're somewhat good at dealing with light units and very small units because they do splash damage. They have no bonus against light, but they also have very small, very short range. I think it's only range of 4. So subjugators they scale a little bit better than the pulsars do, but especially they have extremely good anti-air, which is why I'd get them, because your main weakness with this protecting these Myriads is going to be air units. So bolts, subjugators, you don't really need pariahs, I don't think, in this. Pariahs are a very good unit, I find,
Finally,
but
our unit
because they're
upgrade.
melee, and these units
should
will
have
already
happened.
deal just
Your
fine
minerals
with
design.
pretty much most ground units at the time. This should beat. Then you only need pariahs very much. These bolts, attacking from a distance like these are, staying behind the Elytron. What do you call the Elytron?
Mineral fuel exhausted. Time to mate expand and defend.
I'm going to accept this GG from the AI, and that'll be the end of this video.